Commissioner, welcome to this interview to Macedonian National Television. Recently, we heard many messages, encouraging messages for the region, and for the two states particularly. But what are the signals from those states that opposed to the date of negotiations on the October summit? It seemed that your goodwill didn't match with some attitudes of the member states.
My reading is that this is going to be a common effort, and this is how I plan to work. This is why I have reached out already to those member states with concerns. This is why I visited Paris. I met also the Dutch foreign minister. And there is one rule of this game, which is that we have to have the approval of each and every single member state. And I will be working for that without compromising on the target, which is to open accession negotiations still before the Zagreb summit this year. So I see an opportunity. I think that from the failure of October, we can create an opportunity, and this is what I'm working for, together with all the member states, but also with the Western Balkans.
Part of this process is the new methodology document. Macedonian authorities expect it to be done until the end of this month. Are you going to make it in this time frame?
We plan to come by the end of this month with a new revised methodology. The methodology will be based on 4 principles, and these principles should work both for our member states but also for the accession countries. It has to be more credible. It has to be more political, but it has to be also more predictable and objective, and also more dynamic. These are the principles on which we base the new methodology, and I hope to come very shortly, within a week or 2.
Is it clear whether this document is going to be only for the 2 states that are expecting the date, or for those who already started the negotiations? I mean, Serbia and Montenegro.
It is difficult to change the rules of the game during the game. So we are at this stage designing the new methodology for North Macedonia and Albania. On the other hand, as I said, I want to make the process also more dynamic for the accession countries. I wouldn't rule out that if Serbia or Montenegro sees this process to be more dynamic than the one they are following, they might be interested, after all, in making use of the entire new methodology or some elements of the new methodology. But, as I said, we're not changing the rules of the game during the game.
Ms. von der Leyen recently said that the conditions shouldn't be changed for Macedonia and Albania. And what does it mean, actually? Because new methodology is changing of the conditions in some way. Can you be more precise in this?
The conditions are set by the Copenhagen criteria. This is the criteria the member states have set for any country who wish to join the European Union. This is the criteria that has been used also in the previous series of enlargements, in the last 3 enlargements, and this has not changed. So substantially there is no change in the criteria that needs to be met. The process is going to change, and the process through which we manage the enlargement, that will change. And of course, when changing, one always wants to improve things, not to change things to the worse. So substantially, there will be no change.
Do you still insist?
Sorry, not substantially, substance-wise.
Okay. Do you still insist on the date of negotiations for both countries in a package? This stand caused problems in some way on the October summit again, and more or less this depends on the progress reports of the 2 countries.
I'm very hopeful. Today's meetings were very positive here in North Macedonia. Tomorrow I'm visiting Tirana. I encourage both countries to keep up the progress and to go ahead with the reforms. Both countries have the full potential to open accession negotiations, and I'm very hopeful that we will get there with both countries.
What the Macedonian authorities have to do until the summit in Zagreb in order to make your job easier?
North Macedonia has already achieved a lot, and North Macedonia has an outstanding record with the Prespa Agreement. The Prespa Agreement is a model to follow for the entire region. So North Macedonia is already way ahead in meeting the conditions. However, there are some outstanding tasks still to be finished with. One comes to my mind, which would be important for the assessment, and that is the Public Prosecutor's Office, the law on the Public Prosecutor's Office. Today, I'm reaching out to all political parties of the North Macedonian Parliament, and I ask their support to get this done still under the current Parliament, so before the elections, because I think that would be a very positive development, and this would demonstrate that North Macedonia continues to deliver as it has been in the past.
You're very much optimist since you started your mandate, but what if failure of the enlargement process happened? Do the countries, some of the countries of the European Union, understand the risks of enlargement failure?
I think that the October failure and the aftermath of it, and the reflection that we have had since then, has also created an opportunity to translate to each and every single member state why is it important to include the Western Balkans as quickly as possible in the European Union. I think that the failure, interestingly enough, reinforced the argument and made it clear to everybody that we have to have the Western Balkans to be part of the European Union. So, as I said at the beginning, I tried to create an opportunity out of this. I don't think that enlargement as such has failed. We have failed because we have failed to get the necessary support. And now I'm working to get the necessary support without compromising the objectives.
Thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you.